Good morning, world.
Good morning. Question of the rhetorical sort. Is it okay for biological men to compete against women in sporting events? Next on Cedric and Brian. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian, and this is Cedric and Brian.
Okay, everyone, welcome back. Before we get into today's topic, I need to address my friend here. Your wife sent me a video. It's pretty disturbing. And as a friend, I think I should talk to you. You know what? I need your help. Let's look at this video together.
What is he doing? Look at me. What's going on?
Cedric sent me an article, and I think there's a loophole where I can compete in the Olympics.
Put the weights down. Just put them down.
I'm, as a friend, talk to me. What's up? What's going on?
Did I look good?
Wow.
Hey, you wanted to do this subject. I started doing some research, and I started thinking. I know I'm a little bit, long in the tooth. But one of the people we're talking about's in his 40s, right?
Right.
I figured, I've been staying in shape. I did keto. You saw our keto episode. I figured.
Cut. You know what? We'll talk about Brian later. Let's get into our topic.
My wife wouldn't let me anyways.
Yeah, thank goodness. I'm glad she sent that to me. We'll talk later. But anyway, we're going to talk about, for those of you who haven't heard about it, we have the Summer Games coming up in Tokyo this summer. And speaking of summer, those in there, you guys need hats for the summer?
USA!
Get your C and B Cedric and Brian hats. This code right here, C and B 10. 10% off of your summer hat when you're outside, keeping the sun off you so you don't get sunspots and all that good stuff. But every 4 years, as in our country is, we celebrate the athletes, those who have toiled and sweated and put in time and energy and effort to become Olympic athletes. And so like I said before the opening...
Like Bruce Jenner.
Like Bruce Jenner.
Who no longer exists.
Back in 1976, I believe.
No longer exists.
But if you guys haven't heard about Laurel Hubbard was a male weightlifting individual from New Zealand. And he decided after winning... Now, he wasn't a middle-of-the-road person. See the pictures there?
There she is.
There she is. Wasn't a middle-of-the-road, won a few medals, competed, did well, and decided at the age of 35 that he was going to transition into becoming a woman. And not only that, he decided to compete against biological women in weightlifting. And so, like I said, my question to you guys is that fair?
No. And before we get into it, because I don't want... Obviously, we did a great video, 50,000 views on our Tom McDonald Snowflakes video, yes. And it had a transgender female on there.
Blair White,
who looked good. Hope most of you got the joke.
Yes. Some people didn't.
She even comes out and says that biological men shouldn't compete in sports against women. It's just not fair. So we're not saying anything against transgender people per se. We just want women's sports to stay fair. That's all. So Cedric is going to do something on Laurel, you said?
Laurel Hubbard.
Laurel Hubbard.
Yes.
And then I'm going to follow it up with an American athlete who's going to be at the Olympics too, a transgender. So should we start with the
let's look at the
video?
Interview with Laurel.
Okay, so let's start with the interview with Laurel. And just to let you know, neither one of us could find out their male names looking on Google. So right. I don't know if it's been scrubbed, but I looked for the person I did it. Maybe you guys can tell me at the end of this video. But Cedric couldn't find Laurel's male name.
But how testing has it been coming under this much scrutiny?
Oh, look, I think every athlete has to develop a certain amount of toughness, because when you're competing at this level, you just can't let the distractions distract you. And so I don't think I'm any different from anyone else. I don't think I'm any tougher. I just do what I have to do.
These decisions that you've made in your life had to be very calculated. Obviously, way back before you even started competing internationally, you were obviously prepared, or at least expecting this sort of debate around you.
Look, you'd be naive not to. But I think the world has changed enough that not everyone supports me, not everyone accepts me, but there are people out there who do. That's been great.
You don't have to answer this, but of course you've got this platform now, and you're in such a position of influence, I suppose, about transgender people as a whole and the treatment of them.
Look, I just hope that no matter what people think about people in my situation, that they just treat people like me with respect, because, you know, what more can you ask for?
Okay, I want to touch on 3 things really quick.
Yeah.
Number 1, biological men, which Laurel is, shouldn't compete against women because of that one thing called testosterone. I found a chart on Google Images, and Brian can throw this chart there real quick. Men have about 20 times more testosterone than women, despite the changes that Laurel tried to make. And testosterone, they'll tell you, testosterone is huge for strength, muscle growth, and bone density. Do you think that will be a benefit to you in weightlifting, to have strength, muscle growth, and bone density, and recovery?
But what the IOC stated is that their testosterone has to be below a certain amount. But I know what you're saying. He got to mature and develop with all that testosterone.
Yes, he spent 35 years developing testosterone. How many years did it take for the woman to develop testosterone in their body? Do the math really quick. 0.
Yeah.
So number 1, he has the benefit of testosterone. Number 2, it was kind of insulting in the first 5 seconds, if you caught that, when he said that athletes just need to toughen up. So he's telling the woman, hey, toughen up. But, forgive this word, man up. And you just have to get better. They can't get better.
Men, on average, and if anybody doubts this, and this is where it's so infuriating, the people that think it's okay for these biological men to compete, they know, they can see with their own eyes that men in general are bigger than women. Are there some women bigger than us? Of course. But if you're competing at a high level, like she is, he competed against men for, until he was 35 years old.
Right.
He's got thicker bones. Men have thicker bones than women. Men weigh more than women.
And think about the age factor. 43 years old. He or she shouldn't be competing against anyone competitively at 43 years old. Me at north of 50, if you put me in a basketball men's league with other 50-plus-year-olds, I can hold my own. If you put me in a men's basketball league with guys who just got out of college in their 20s, they'd be like, get that guy out of there before he hurts himself.
Yeah.
It's the age difference. And what was the last thing I said? Number 3, he said he wants to be respected. And Brian and I talked about this right before filming. We respect you as an adult. Children, that's a different subject for another video. But as an adult, if you choose to transition and turn yourself from a man to a woman or a woman to a man, so be it. I lose the respect where you use that as an advantage to go compete in the Olympics, because the Olympics is all about competition.
Yeah.
It's all about fairness.
And even Bruce Caitlin, even as he transitioned to a female, to Caitlin, he even says it's not fair. So it has nothing to do with choosing who you want to be. You can be who you want to be. But when it comes to women's sports, the reason that women's sports came about is because biological differences. We wanted women to be able to compete in sport, but not have to compete against men who are obviously stronger and faster than they are.
I just thought of something. A couple weeks ago, we just had the Kentucky Derby. Huge event for everybody. What if there's that one horse that year after year just can't compete, just can't win, place, or show, and the owner says, you know what, I think I'll put him in a dog race. I bet you people would have uproar like, oh, that's not fair. I'm like, come on, though. The horse is bigger, it's stronger, it's faster. What's the difference?
Well, you're crossing species. I think you're stretching there.
No, I'm not.
Because you know what you could say. Female and male horses compete against each other.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But the horses are so much stronger, bigger, and stronger than the dogs. That's what I was going with. This is why he should. I need a new partner.
Sometimes he brings up these. Anyway.
Horses shouldn't compete in dog events. Simple as that. But then we talked about that earlier. About 7 months ago, we did that video on Selena Soul, the runner from Connecticut, who lost a lot of her stuff because of transgender athletes, and she was the only one who spoke out on it. Yeah. And this is another trick by the left. and I'll talk on this a little bit. Trick by left is like if you speak out against someone being like you speak out against Hubbard, you're transphobic. If you speak out against CRT, you're against the truth.
Right.
If you speak out against voter ID or BLM, you're racist. Right. And if you speak out against the vaccine, you're a non-vaxxer. Yeah. And they say all these things and do all these things to make you feel like, what? You know what? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I am wrong. No, you're not wrong. Keep speaking out on it.
All right, so I'm going to bring it to the U.S. here. So we have an athlete who's competing in BMX racing.
Yes.
The person's name is Chelsea Wolfe.
Chelsea Wolfe.
Chelsea Wolfe. Chelsea, and like I said, I couldn't find his male name, his born name, but Chelsea Wolfe has been competing in BMX racing.
His government name?
Yes, government. His BMX racing as a boy until the age of 14.
Right.
Then decided to transition to a female. And like we said, we don't have a problem with anybody can be whoever they want. We're in the live and let live. But now we're talking about competing in sports where we do separate men from women. So now he's an alternate for the BMX in the Olympics as a female. So a couple things, and we'll get into the controversy in a minute. But one, he just took the place of a biological female who could have been that alternate.
Right.
So what she said, I don't care if you use he or she, I'll call her she. She wants to be a she. She said in 2020, when she was getting ready for this, that she wants to win so she can burn the American flag. So number one, if I was on the American United States Olympic Committee, I would disqualify her for that. Anybody, I don't care if she's actually a she, if somebody says they're going to go there and disrespect the flag, boom, you're out.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, she's not a biological female. She's going to go compete against biological females if she gets called up because she's an alternate. But she also made a controversial statement a year ago that because Trump wanted to preserve female sports and was against biological males competing against it, she made the offhanded remark that she wanted to explode his head, pause, with dynamite. And then she said, well, those were two different statements. I didn't really mean that.
My question is, where are all the feminists now?
Yeah.
Where's the outrage? Because normally they would be like all over the map, and like Megan Rapinoe and all these other people. Silence.
Yeah, exactly.
Crickets.
So Megan Rapinoe, a good example who's going to be, the next sexy lingerie model for
Victoria's Secret.
Victoria,
please keep your secrets. Please keep your secrets.
Anyways, how would she feel if she was competing against all these transgender females out there on soccer?
She'd lose her mind.
Maybe not. Maybe now that she's retired, she'll be all in on it. But this Chelsea Wolfe, two things should disqualify her. One, she made the statement about burning the flag, and two, she's not let her compete with the boys or the men.
You know what she's doing? She's doing her female Colin Kaepernick. Because like you said, she was an alternate.
Yeah.
She was going to be front and center anyway. And when did Colin Kaepernick do the whole knee thing? When his skills were going down and he wasn't in the media anymore. He goes, okay, now I'll raise a stink.
Yeah.
So she's just doing this to draw attention to herself.
Yeah.
I want to tip my hat really quick to Tokyo. A few at Tokyo said, we're going to have the Summer Games. We don't want any gaslighting. We don't want any virtue signaling. Whatever race you run, whatever heat you run, whatever medley you win, get on the stage, play your anthem, get your trophy, move on.
But it's sad that we have to say that. So, because we know they're talking about Americans.
Right. Which just shocks you about Chelsea Wolfe. Like, if you're not part of Team America, then why are you even trying out? Why do you want to be a part of that?
All right. So, what do you think? Do you think that biological men, no matter how long ago they transitioned, should be competing in female sports, and especially on a world stage at the Olympics? Let us know in the comments. Yes. But before we go, Cedric had this great quote right here from Abraham Lincoln, one of our favorite presidents, for obvious reasons.
Yep. He once asked an audience, how many legs a dog has if you count the tail as a leg? When they answered 5, Lincoln told them that the answer was 4. The fact that you called the tail a leg did not make it a leg. And even back then, he is speaking the language of the left. If we change the wording, if we change the verbiage, we can switch things around. And a lot of people fall for the okie doke. And what's that great Eddie Murphy movie with the Beverly Hills Cop? Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe trick. Don't fall for it. Just because we change the wording around, it is what it is. Men are men, women are women. I'm faster than Brian should not be a woman. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But that's a great quote.
It is. And like we said, and this is where conservatives, at least like us, get confused by people on the left. They think that we want to impose our will on other people. It couldn't be further from the truth. We are the live and let live. As long as you're not infringing on somebody else, live and let live. If you want to transition and be called a female and dress like a female, fine, do you. That doesn't mean that you have the right to compete in something that we've decided and designed to be female athletics. That's our point. So don't call us transphobic, because that's not where we're coming from.
Right.
He might be transphobic because he didn't like me dressed as a woman.
That scared me, I will admit.
All right, you got a good comment today,
yes,
right?
I got a few comments here. This is really good. For those of you who haven't seen our review of Tom McDonald's song Snowflakes, go to not only watch that video, but go in the comment section, because that comment section was pro-America. Not by Americans, but people from other countries who have come here, lived in other places, come here and say, you know what, you guys got it going on. And Brian and I have said over and over again, do we say that America is utopia? Is it perfect? Absolutely not. It is the best thing going. We have some faults, we need some things we need to work on, some chinks in the armor, but we're the best thing going.
And it's because we were set up in this Constitution and Declaration of Independence to be able to go move forward and improve, and we have over the years. Obviously, we got rid of slavery in the 1800s, the Jim Crow law in the 1900s, and now we're in 2021, and it's pretty darn good here, and it's the reason why our borders are full and people are trying to get over here.
Right, exactly. I had like 5 comments. Again, go to that comment section of that video, read for yourself. I'll pick this one. It's a little bit longer, but I'll read it fast. It's from Daniel Lassiter. And Daniel says, I'm a Swede, and I love your great country. Spent a few months in USA, and it's one of the most amazing countries I've ever been to. The hospitality, the curiosity. People are so incredibly friendly and really want to hear what you have to say. What I was doing in USA, how long would I stay? When I left, he doesn't say who they are, pronouns. When I left, they even gave me some souvenirs, a picture of Mount Rushmore, a little leaflet with the Constitution. Nothing major, and I never expected anything at all. From my experience, the people I met was all very much live and let live sort of people. They were happy, and you brought stuff in their stores, very much the smaller shops, mom and pop shops. Yeah. I find it very sad that Americans don't like America. Many of them think Sweden is some sort of socialist heaven, and in parentheses he put, it's not. This is just one of literally, I lost track of all the comments that people from other countries, and like Tom McDonald himself being a Canadian, has more respect for this country than people who were born here.
Well, it's the old grass is always greener, so, and we're spoiled in this country, and, you know, we'll admit it, not everybody. I mean, there's people in Appalachia struggling, you know, there's people in the inner city struggling, but you do have the opportunity to climb that ladder. And Morgan Freeman even said that with Don Lemon years ago.
Yes.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Happy Gilmore. You can do it. So anyways, go look at those comments. We got people from Germany. We have people from Venezuela who commented and said, I need to know who made that comment on Venezuela. I'm from Venezuela. It's an asshole.
Yes.
So, anyway.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate you. We are quickly approaching 10,000 subscribers. So make sure you make sure you subscribe, ring that bell.
Ring the bell, because if you don't ring the bell and you just subscribe, our videos are not going to come up. People have been telling us that. So you have to ring that little bell. Find the bell, ring it. And then comment.
Yes. Most importantly, share our videos with everyone you know. Put it on your Facebook page, put it on your Instagram page, email it to your friends and family. Say, hey, check out these 2 guys. They might be onto something. But more importantly, be good to each other. Until next time, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian. See you later.